Yeah, bought his new waistcoat and I don't like it very much. Well, this looks a bit funky. It's not as nice as I thought it would be. I'm cruising California and the beaches of LA. Surfing all the way to the US of A. Sleeping on the streets of London, kissing clowns in Camden Town. On the train to Brighton, where the boys pull trousers down. The gutters of Calcutta, the sad streets of Bombay. Summertime in India, the sun shines every day. The Bohemians in Paris and the boys are in Berlin. So take a trip to Alice Springs, the summer's rushing. From Cape Town to Jamaica to the boys of Byron Bay. Mardi Gras in Sydney to the beach of San Tropez. The bullet trains of Tokyo to the Tiananmen Square. Moving on to Moscow, then back to the Scarborough. Starving sons of Africa, Monte Carlo, Spanish caravan. Highlands and the valleys and the halls of Amsterdam. Montezuma down in Mexico to the windmill in Tangiers. So many ways to go. Don't waste these precious years. I said I'm cruising California, the beaches of LA. Surfing all the way to the US of A. Sleeping on the streets of London, kissing clowns in Camden Town. On the train to Brighton, where the boys pull trousers down. The gutters of Calcutta and the sad streets of Bombay. Summertime in India, the sun shines every day. The Bohemians in Paris, the boys up in Berlin. Let's take a trip to Alice Springs, the summer's rushing in. Cape Town to Jamaica to the boys of Byron Bay. Mardi Gras in Sydney to the beach of San Tropez. Bullet trains of Tokyo to the Tiananmen Square. Moving on to Moscow, then back to the Scarborough Fair. Starving sons of Africa, Monte Carlo, Spanish caravan. The highlands and the valleys and the halls of Amsterdam. Montezuma down in Mexico to the windmill in Tangiers. There's so many ways to go, so don't waste these precious years. It's a bit of shit song. Let's see what else we can find. Back in a minute. This is I don't like this waistcoat, actually, it's horrible. Sort of like glitzy, it's got a nice sort of thing on the back. Well, that sort of thing on the back. Oh, that's why I bought it later, I think the space in back there. But it's horrible waistcoat, and I like it very much. I don't know if I have to change again. Don't feel like getting all the glam down. Feel more black. Of course. The truth is, we're sort of like, we're kind of living in a world that's going nowhere, aren't we? And we will be until we die. What's the next stage for us? What's the next thing going to happen? Are we going to die or something? Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, we're living in sort of like limbo land. Do you ever get the feeling that we're actually all living in limbo? Like, you know, you go through the same routine every day. You know exactly what you're going to do today. You know what you're going to do tomorrow. You know what you're going to do the next day. So we're all completely sort of like living in kind of like limbo land. Like, what's the next exciting point of my life as I'm going to die? Is that exciting? Do you know what I mean? It's like the world doesn't seem to be although we're getting all this new technology and it's all fantastic and amazing what you can do with the technology, I'm just saying it's like the world seems to be going nowhere still. You know, you blow each other up and all that shite, but, you know, I don't know what's going on with the world. It's just sort of like, do you ever feel that, although the world's growing up, you know, everyone's getting older, etc., you know, but we're not really getting very far in the world outside. Do you know what I mean? It's like, do you ever feel like we're sort of like frozen in ice or something like that? Like you feel the world should be going somewhere and things should be happening outside, you know. You feel like in this world, you know, it's like 2017. When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Well, everyone's waiting for something to happen. But I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, I'll tell you a story. This is interesting. A bit naughty. 91 this was. Do you mind if I just read to you a little bit of some of my... I've been looking through some of my old books, trying to find something interesting to sort of spark something, or just to get the brain working again. This will probably sound like shit in the morning. I'm just playing, right? This is something I wrote a long, long time ago, about 91, which is about 16 years ago. I see him standing there on the bridge, leaning over the railings, gazing down at his reflection in the water below. He is beautiful, too beautiful for words, but I will try to describe him for you. He was exquisite, like a bronze statue. A soft, golden-tanned youth. Beads of silver sweat trickled down his spine, glimmering in the light of the summer sun. Wisps of soft yellow, nearly white bleached hair, blowing gently in the cool summer breeze, hanging over his eyes. His baggy green denim jeans struggling to slide down his slender hips. A wisp of yellow pubic hair just below his golden belly button. How old he was I cannot say, but judging by his height and nimble athletic frame, I would guess about 13 or 14. He was glorious to behold, a truly exquisite example of pubescent boyhood. I gazed at him for several minutes, trying hard to catch his eye, but also trying to remain inconspicuous. Not an easy thing to do. It's not easy to admire nature's beauty these days, without being accused of being a paedophile or a cradle snatcher. Oh, and yes, I wanted to touch him. I wanted to feel his sweaty boy body against mine, his sweat mingling with my own. I wanted to kiss him, caress him. I wanted to pull his jeans down to his ankles right there and then and chew his sweet little prick and fuck his gorgeous golden arse. I wanted him so fucking bad. But I couldn't have him. I couldn't touch him. Hell, I wasn't even supposed to look at him. It's not allowed. I'd be called a pervert or a paedophile or worse. But I'm not either of those. Oh, I love boys. Make no mistake about that. I'd like to screw beautiful teenage boys 24 hours a day. But what's the point of puberty? Why have balls if you never play with them? No, I'm not a paedophile. I'm not in the least attracted sexually to little boys. What would be the point anyway? You can't go fishing without tackle. But don't get me wrong. I think boys are beautiful to behold. So are girls, and little girls are beautiful to behold. And so are little dogs and cats and horses and monkeys. But that doesn't mean I want to shag them. What is the harm of admiring nature? To see the beauty of the human body in all its many forms. Why are people so hung up about their bodies? We wouldn't be much without them. We are born naked. Some of us even die naked. Why are people ashamed of their own beauty? We live in a society where we are not even allowed to touch each other without feeling shame or guilt. What is wrong with the human race? Why do people hide their sexuality? Even homosexuals rarely admit their attraction to youth. But our teenage years are all about sexual awakening. Growing from child to adult, more's the pity. Why can't we celebrate the change we call puberty? Surely our teenage years should be a time of experimentation, exploration and adventure. I long to live in a world where we can all be free, and surely, if sex came out of the closet and boys were free to be who they want to be, to have sex, to play with each other with their new toys, then there'd be far less cases of child sex abuse. How many men filled with a natural urge of boy sex have taken their lust out on younger boys who are unable to fight back and killed themselves to prevent their discovery? Maybe if nature was the law and teenage boys were permitted to have sex, this might not happen. I believe in the laws of nature which dictate the lives of every other creature on this planet apart from humans. Pick the fruit when it's ripe. You can't quench your thirst if you don't have the juice. And if they say no, they mean no. And if the answer is yes, then why not? I hate what people have done to my world. They tell me that love is wrong. I'm not allowed to live in my own fucking world without compromise. I'm not free. No one is. Not while we obey stupid rules created by silly old men who never knew what it was like to be young. This society is stale. The people are like lemmings jumping off the cliff one after another. They are sheep without a shepherd. I want to live, but they're all waiting to die. I was 14, when I first had sex with a boy. And I was 14. I loved every fucking second of it. It was the most exciting and exhilarating time of my whole goddamn life. I love my body, love myself. And I only wish that people would stop treating each other like treating me like some kind of retarded leper freak. I'm not a normal, perverse or sick-minded. I'm a lover of humanity. I'm a human being, not a fucking processed tax-making machine built to fuck up my life by doing some pointless fucking job. For some odd sod, I don't give two shits whether I live or die. This is shit. That's a bit weird. No, but what I'm saying, that there's this guy I met once, a boy I met once. I mean, I didn't do anything, but it was a long time ago now. So. Anyway, play more songs. Don't know why I said that. I'm just finding shit. I've been searching through my books because I've been bored shitless out of my mind, wondering what the fuck I'm doing now. So I'm just sort of like going through a few of my old books and seeing what notes I've written down. And yeah, I know many. Worlds. I don't know. That was a bit of a weird one, wasn't it, Pete? I wrote that about 20 years ago. No, it must be longer than that. No, it's 26. That must be in 93, 4. No, it must be a lot later. God, I'm so old. I look back to the 1990s and it's 20 years ago and I'm thinking, hang on a minute, 30 years ago. I'm 50 now, you know, I'm very old now. Way too old. Way too old to know much about anything. I'm an old man, 50, so. I'm just playing doing a bit of reading and a few sort of clearing my decks sort of thing. Well, I've been picking cotton down in cotton fields too. Got a bad, bad case of the Mississippi blues. Standing on the platform, crying in the rain, waiting in the station for raining in my heart. You really wanna hurt, tearing me apart. Well, I've been picking cotton down in cotton fields too. I got a bad, bad case, the Mississippi blues. Rolling in the gutter, swigging whiskey from a jar, writing love letters to no one, wishing on no lucky star. Well, I've been picking cotton down in cotton fields too. Bad, bad case of the Mississippi blues. Sitting in me off my porch in my rocking chair, whistling down the wind, strumming my guitar. Been picking cotton down in cotton fields too. I got a bad, bad case of the Mississippi blues. Standing on the platform, crying in the rain, waiting in the station for a runaway train. Well, I've been picking cotton down in cotton fields too. Bad, bad case of the Mississippi blues. My muddy boots are dirty, it keeps raining in my heart. Do you really wanna hurt me, tearing me apart? Well, I've been picking cotton down in cotton fields too. Got a bad, bad case, the Mississippi blues. Rolling in the gutter, swigging whiskey from a jar, writing love letters to no one, wishing on a lucky star. Well, I've been picking cotton down in cotton fields too. Got a bad, bad case, the Mississippi blues. Sitting on my old front porch in my rocking chair, whistling down the wind, strumming my guitar. Well, I've been picking cotton down in cotton fields too. Got a bad, bad case, the Mississippi blues. See, fishing in the river, teaching the boys to swim. It's like Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn. Well, I've been picking cotton down in cotton fields too. Oh, here's another one. I'm just playing a bit of random and finding what books I got. I thought I'd sort of been dusting the closet sort of thing, finding out what books I got written down. So I'm just sort of like, thought, fuck it, I'm on holiday another day or two. I need something to watch. So I'm playing a few of my old songs. This is probably going to be really embarrassing in the morning. I don't care. Fuck it. God knows I like bollocks. Pretty ones like that. God, it's nearly Christmas, isn't it? Well, once you stood so close to me, now we're so far apart. You're just another nail. Am I just doing my nails? No, because I can't go scrubbly on with this. No, I mean the point is, there's nothing really I've got. I'm walking down the street. I mean now it's November, right? You get, like I say, you go down a supermarket. You get these Pugsy costumes. Pugsy dress up like some stupid bunny because Terry Wogan snuffed it. Thank God. Should have a Terry Wogan mask. That'll do you better, wouldn't it? Fucking piece of crap. I hated Terry Wogan. I hate fucking children in need charity shit. It's loads of bollocks. Where do you think these children, you know these costumes you buy in Asda, like, you got this children need shit. These costumes you buy in Asda, where do you think they get made? They're probably being made by 12-year-old children in Taiwan or something, or in Singapore or somewhere like that. You know these Pugsy costumes that you buy in your to raise charity, to raise money for children, to pay for sick children. You got these costumes like Pugsy costumes in Asda, and made in Taiwan. It's probably made in Taiwan or made in Singapore by these little children in sweatshops. Like, you've got this charity that is supposed to be helping children. Yeah, but it's probably the children in these sweatshops in Asia who are making these costumes to sell so that you can raise money for children in England, which is a load of bollocks. Because how much money they're making a fortune out of it, man. These people who own these charities like the BBC or whatever, they make a fucking fortune out of this charity shit. You do realise that they're not doing it for free, really. They are getting money out of it, a lot of money out of it. I mean, it's just saying, where are these costumes made? Probably Taiwan, by these little children in sweatshops. You've probably got a lot of little children in little Asia, working for a pittance, stitching up these Patsy costumes to make for the British market so they can sell them for lots of money in Britain and raise money to help children who are probably the ones who are stitching up the costume in Taiwan. You're not really helping people at all, are you? It's a load of bollocks, isn't it? This children need shit. Doesn't it piss you off a little bit? It pisses me off. You know, all these Patsy costumes and this and that costumes, you know, for Patsy and children needing them too. Okay, well they cost about 10 quid to sell, right? Okay, how much money do they cost to make? If you can afford to sell them at that price, where did you get them made? Where were these costumes made? Probably made in the East. Probably made in Singapore or Taiwan, where you get little girls working in sweatshops, stitching up these Pugsy costumes to sell so that you can help the children in England, even though the children over there are the ones probably making the bloody costumes, you know what I mean? It's a bit sick, isn't it? If you can afford to make costumes, surely you could give that money straight to the kids. Then you wouldn't have to have charity, would you? If you gave the money straight to the children instead of making these silly costumes and Red Nose Day and bullshit like that and Patsy and children need shit, and you're giving, you know, who's making these costumes? Probably little kids in fucking Asia stitching it together so that you can sort of sell them and then you can raise money for children, and the whole point was to help kids. But you probably know. It's bloody horrible. I think charity is disgusting. I fucking hate charity. You're not really helping anybody, are you, in this world? You know, every fucking year you get these charity things like Children in Need. Every year you get some people dressing up in silly costumes for comic relief or whatever bullshit. You don't make anything better, do you? Because you always have the same problem the year after. If charity works, then surely you should only have to have it once. If Children in Need actually works, if Children in Need actually feeds children and houses children and looks after children, then great. But you do it every fucking year. Every year. Now, if you have to do charity every year, then it doesn't work, does it? It does not work, because you've still got to do it the next year. So even though you spent £1 million to save children in the year 2000 or whatever, the next year you're still saying, let's give all your money to help save children this year. Why? It didn't work last year, did it? Seriously, this charity shit, it didn't work last year because you didn't solve the problems. And there are still children in poverty. Children in Need does not work. It didn't work last year. If it works last year, you would not need any charity this year, would you? It's been going on for about 20 or 30 years now, the Children Need shit. It's been going on for about 20 odd years, you know, it's a load of bullshit. But hang on, if the charity works, then you only have to do it once and then they get fed. But no, you do it every year. And every year you have to do it more and more, pushing these teddy bears or whatever. I'm saying to myself, hang on a minute, you keep begging on me for money, but every year you keep coming back the next year because you didn't have enough money, or you are taking the piss, aren't you? I don't like charity, I hate charity. Because if it works, why do you keep coming back to me every year? Say, can I have some more money?
If charity worked, you'd only have to do it once. Look, there's starving children. Right, feed them. Done. Job done. Next year. Starving children again. Feed them. Hang on, you did that last year. Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work. Well, you didn't feed all the children last year. No, we couldn't afford to. Didn't raise enough money. Didn't raise enough money, so we couldn't feed all the children last year. So can we have some more money this year? But it didn't work last year. Yeah, I know. It didn't work last year. That's why we're coming back this year. That's why they're doing it again this year. Because they want to raise more money to help children because they care so much about you children. So then you have children in need again, raise lots of money. Next year, back again. Hi, we didn't raise quite enough money last year, so now we're back again and we want to raise even. It's taking the piss, mate. Fucking taking the piss. If charity fucking worked, you wouldn't have to do it more than once. You wouldn't have to do it every fucking year. God knows it's dreadful. Well, once you stood so close to me, now we're so far apart. Just another nail in my heart. You're just another nail in my heart. The hammer to the head, you said you loved me. Thought we'd be together till the day we die. Now the love we had is dead. Golden sun still shines above me, but you changed just like the weather. The grey storm clouds float by. Your touch was gentle as a feather, so spread your wings and learn to fly. Once you stood so close to me, now we're so far apart. Just another nail in my heart. Just another nail in my heart. Like a hammer to the head, you used to hold my hand so tight. Never thought you'd leave until the day you wake up. In an empty bed, Lord, I'm so lonely late at night. But there's no point in grieving, wipe the teardrops from my eye. I don't have no God to believe in, all I do is sit. Once you stood so close to me, now we're so far apart. Just another nail in my heart. Said you're just another nail in my heart. Like a hammer to the head, you said you loved it. I thought we'd be together till the day I die. Now the love we had is dead. Golden sun shines high above me, but your change looked like the weather. The grey storm clouds float by. Your touch was gentle as a feather, so spread your wings and once you stood so close to me, now we're so far apart. You're just another nail in my heart. Just another nail in my heart. Like a hammer to the head, you used to hold my hand so tight. Never thought you'd leave until the day you wake up. Now I sleep in an empty bed, look so lonely late at night. But there's no point in grieving, wipe the teardrop from my eye. Don't have no God to believe in, all I do is sit and cry. Well, once you stood so close to me, now we're so far apart. You're just another nail in my heart. Let's find something else. Getting depressing. We're having a weird night tonight, because I wasn't going to do anything, I said. Anything more, because I'm a bit bored. Because everything's gone bored. Have you noticed how the world's gone so quiet, and there's nothing really happening in the world? There's no excitement anywhere. Really, look at the world around you, you know. I like the wall jumping, by the way. I love it watching people jumping from wall to walls and shit like that. That's cool. But for the most part, it feels like the world's falling asleep. or something like no one wants to get anywhere in history. You know, but it's like time's not really turning very well, is it? So I'm just fucking strumming along to a few old songs and talking about this is some of the old books that I've written 20 odd years ago. These are really old books that I wrote about 20 odd years ago, some of these. So I'm going through my attic sort of thing, seeing what I can find.
Well, I can hear the thunder rumble. Are you waiting for the storm? Christmas decorations feel like a crown of thorns. See the people rushing round in circles. Mum stuck in the supermarket, buying Christmas presents for the children. On credit card and loan, is she a bit like me and you? Well, it's just another sad old lonely Christmas. This poor old tramp is struggling to stay warm. Dad is working overtime, slaving his fingers to the bone. The little children wait in line to meet Santa on his throne. Oh, bollocks. No, I'm not in the mood for this one. I'm not in a Christmassy mood, shite. I'm not doing a Christmassy mood, shite. That's bollocks. Oh, come on, I'm talking shite here again. I don't know, I've got to get in the mood to do something. Can I put the words... Let me put the words to bed and just chit and jam for a little bit and see if I can come up with something. I know, it's all too repetitive. I mean, there was something I was going to put on it, but I can't find what I went for it now. Quite good actually, isn't it? That's always the bit you can't find that you want to look for. Hold on a second. Many years ago, in a magical land, far, far away, there lived a rich and magnificent king who lived in a wonderful, so I can't read my handwriting, wonderful, grand and glorious palace. The king was as rich as any man could possibly be. Hang on a minute. Let's start that again. It's an old story here. I'm just playing a bit.